Nice That You Looking At. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me is a song written and recorded by the American singer-songwriter Taylor Swift for her 11th studio album, The Tortured Poets Department, 2024. Produced by Swift and Jack Antonoff, the track is a Southern Gothic-inspired chamber pop song that incorporates dense echo and strings. The lyrics were inspired by Swift's bitter feelings while reflecting on her teenage rise to stardom. They compare a narrator to a wicked witch and a trapped circus animal, detailing how her upbringing in an asylum contributes to her callous and vicious nature. Some music critics found the tone of Who's Afraid of Little Old Me heavy, that makes the track hard to listen to and the lyrics confusing, while others praised the musical elements and complimented the lyrics as biting and impactful. The song peaked at number 9 on the Billboard Global 200 and charted in the top 10 in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the United States. It received certifications in Brazil, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. Swift performed the track on the 2024 shows of the Eras Tour. Swift started working on the Tortured Poets Department immediately after she submitted her 10th studio album, Midnights, to Republic Records for release in 2022. She continued working on it in secrecy throughout the US leg of the Eras Tour in 2023. The album's conception took place when Swift's personal life continued to be a widely covered topic in the press. She described the Tortured Poets Department as her lifeline album, which she really needed to make. Republic Records released it on April 19, 2024. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me is 10th on the track list. The lyrics detail Swift's perception of her public image. The song starts with Swift confronting her critics. If you wanted me dead, you should have just said, nothing makes me feel more alive, and, in the chorus, imagines herself as a witch that unleashes her anger onto a town. So I leap from the gallows and I levitate down your street, crash the party like a record scratch as I scream, who's afraid of little old me? You should be. In the next verse, Swift recounts having been raised in an asylum, and expresses how she becomes cold-hearted in the face of speculation on her personal life. I was tame. I was gentle. Till the circus life made me mean. She details how she had to conform herself to a culture in which she was brought up. You taught me, you caged me, and then you called me crazy. In a commentary for Amazon Music, Swift recalled that she wrote, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me alone on piano, while being in a bitter state, reflecting on how her teenage rise to stardom influenced her self-perception. She said that, the world has this sense of ownership over public figures, leading them to be easily critiqued for their behaviors. We put them through hell. We watch what they create, then we judge it. We love to watch artists in pain, often to the point where I think sometimes as a society we provoke that pain, and we just watch what happens. Several critics compared the theme of Who's Afraid of Little Old Me to that of Anti-Hero, 2022, a track about Swift's self-critique and self-loathing. Rob Sheffield of Rolling Stone described Who's Afraid of Little Old Me as a luridly comic goth horror melodrama of girlhood in America, and labeled it an evil twin of Mirrorball, 2020, while also being filtered through Mary Shelley's 1818 novel Frankenstein. Vulture's Craig Jenkins thought that the lyrics portrayed a thirst for supernatural revenge that recalls witch trials and Carrie. Vogue Australia thought that the title is a reference to Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, a 1962 play by Edward Albee about a derailed marriage. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me received mixed reviews, with several critics remarking that the song had a heavy tone that made it hard to listen to. Mark Savage of the BBC thought that the theme was salty and mischievous, and described the sound as suffocated. Olivia Horn of Pitchfork deemed the lyrical imagery convoluted, as the track portrays Swift as both a witch and a circus animal. And Slant Magazine's Jonathan Keefe criticized the lyrics as overwritten, blemishing the song's attempt at showcasing Swift at her most lacerating. In the New York Times, John Pareles lamented that the track lacked the playful but self-questioning touch of Anti-Hero, making it pretty much just sad or angry, and thus regress into teenage petulance. And Lindsay Zolads found it surprising that Swift doesn't deliver this one with a wink, despite having played dexterously with humor and irony elsewhere in her catalog. Beats Per Minute's John Woolmacher described the composition as being both too theatric and lo-fi at the same time, and the revengeful lyrics as confusing. Given the respect and adoration gotten from press and audiences. On a positive side, Pop Matter's Jeffrey Davies deemed the track the album's best, writing that it demonstrates a vicious cycle of Swift's detractors, still her with enough ammunition for new material. Laura Snapes from The Guardian thought that the vengeful wrath of the song contains some of Swift's most cutting lyrics and deemed it a deservedly bitter, barbed update of the cutesier and more cloying Anti-Hero. Writing for the Associated Press, Maria Sherman was an amalgam of Swift's past albums, namely the musical ambitiousness of Folklore and Evermore, both 2020, and the sharp sensibilities of Reputation, 2017, but with more depth and complexities. The Hollywood Reporter's Ryan Fish ranked Who's Afraid of Little Old Me fourth out of the 31 tracks on the album, deeming the portrayal of Swift's witchy persona compelling and saying that the production has a hook to be shouted by a crowd in a stadium. Variety considered it one of the best 50 songs of 2024. Chris Willman said that while it was surprising for Swift to release an angry and vengeful song despite her America's Sweetheart image for much of the year, it was justified for women at large and wonderfully bizarre. Swift included Who's Afraid of Little Old Me in the revamped setlist for her 6th concert tour, the Eras Tour, starting from the May 2024 shows in Paris. She performed the song while standing atop a glass-plated platform that moved across the stage. Clash's Hannah Sinclair wrote that Swift was rising and flying around the stage, while the Scotsman's David Hepburn said that she actually down our street, considering it the show's best performance because it had the biggest singalong of the night. Billboard's Robert Levine deemed it a live standout among the setlist's newly added songs, opining that it was exemplary of Swift's description of the Tortured Poets Department act as female rage, the musical. Willman placed the performance at number 3 on his list of the 40 greatest nightly moments from the Eras Tour. The raised moving platform, dubbed Tayumba or Tayumba by Swift's fans, suffered a malfunction at the final New Orleans show of the Eras Tour on October 27, 2024. The platform was supposed to move towards Swift's backup dancers after she sang the line, "But what if they did," during the first chorus, but remained stationary. Swift continued singing as she dismounted the platform to stand in the center of a circle formed by her backup dancers, before walking across the stage and performing new choreography with them. Some media publications, as well as Swift's fans, praised how Swift and the backup dancers handled the situation and seamlessly performed as if it were planned. Julia Gilbeau from the Times-Picayune, the New Orleans advocate, lauded how she managed to still deliver an emotional performance without miss a beat. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.